In 2018, the U.S. Army Corps began imposing their DQM initiative on any dredge contractors doing work for them with cutter suction dredges 20 inches and up. Cruise Integration responded with our own KruseDQM package for cutter suction pipeline dredges. The KruseDQM package is a fully integrated, comprehensive system that complies with the Army Corps spec for pipeline dredges. KruseDQM includes all of the instrumentation, computers, and software necessary to comply with the spec. Specifically, the density meter, flow meter, vacuum transmitter, discharge pressure transmitter, pump speed sensor, draft sensor transmitter, the server holding the KruseDQM software, and a computer for the Army Corps OBS onboard software, as well as the completely fabricated Allen Bradley PLC instrument cabinet. Note that any of the instrumentation mentioned that already exists on your dredge could be used for the instrumentation for this DQM package. The DQM compliance for your dredge begins with the DPIP, Dredge Plant Instrument Plan. This is the part of the spec that is completed prior to any instrumentation installation, and it demonstrates to the Army Corps through documentation that your system will comply with instrumentation and connectivity as they have in their specifications. Cruise Integration completes this step for you. So we are responsible in our complete package for the DPIP. The next step is to install the instrumentation provided by Cruise, as well as the PLC control cabinet. We provide electrical drawings, installation support, and on-site commissioning for all of our instrumentation. Following instrumentation installation, we commission the complete KruseDQM package on site. This typically takes 3 to 4 days, which also includes training and system testing and calibration. Let's take a look at the user-friendly interface for KruseDQM. The first screen, when it boots up, you see is the instrument screen that shows all of your real-time parameters for your vacuum, velocity, density, pump RPM, discharge pressure, production. Also shows your cutter location, your draft, your heading, your depth. And we also have included production, monitoring, and totalization. You'll notice every 6 seconds in the instrument screen that a blue work event will pop up showing that we have submitted all of the instrumentation data that was averaged over the past 6 seconds to the Army Corps OBS, their onboard software, per their spec. All of this data is known as the work event. The work event is the only automated event that automatically sends data to the Army Corps software. The remaining events are manually entered events that can be found through the navigation tab lower part of the screen. Your overview screen shows all of the events at one time in real time. This screen also shows totalization of your production over every 3 hours, yesterday's total, and today's total so far. And it additionally shows any alarms for instruments at the bottom. Your next screen is the contract event screen. Then we have the station event screen, and the pipeline event screen, the boosters event screen, the advanced, and the outfall, and the non-effective screen. And then we are back to the instruments screen. Notice on every one of these screens, these event screens, the text actually says what is in the Army Corps spec. So it tells you when information needs to be entered manually. For example, the contract event is used at the beginning and the end of the contract. The pipeline screen would be used anytime you add or remove any lengths of pipe. The same as the booster screen would be used anytime you add or remove a booster. The advanced screen is used daily at midnight, the end of your shift, to show how far you have advanced. The outfall screen, anytime you change your outfall, you want to update your location, your heading, your elevation. Now let's take a look at the non-effective screen. We also call this the downtime. The Army Corps spec shows 29 codes and reasons for being down. Our PLC system will automatically sense when your dredge is down, and this pop-up will launch automatically, and it will stay in the foreground, but you can move it out of your way. The pop-up has a drop-down screen that is attached to our database that allows you to select any one of the 29 reasons. It's typical, as we install this on many of the contractors' dredges, that we have an additional screen from the chart room up into the lever room, a touch screen to allow the operator to select the downtime reason. So we record the downtime reason, the downtime beginning time, and the end time, and send all that to the core software. Additionally, we've included a trend screen. This is a historic trend screen that shows certain parameters that you may be interested in to be able to see back in time using the VCR scrolls at the bottom to help you find out if any kind of incident occurred using these parameters. You can zoom in and zoom out for close analysis of any issues you may be having. The final screen on here is the setup screen. This is used for you to calibrate your instrumentation. Most all instruments that are 4 to 20 milliamp off-the-shelf instruments have a scale on them or a tag that specifies what their range is from 4 to 20 milliamps. So if you ever change any instrumentation, this screen is where you would go to update your calibration. The other thing you do on this screen is put in your antenna offsets, and you can calibrate your ladder angle sensor on this screen. All of the instrumentation that Cruise Integration uses in our package looks for is 4 to 20 milliamp signals. These are standard off-the-shelf signals from everyday pieces of equipment that you can find. We can include the GPS system, but most dredgers already have them on there. Typically we find Trimble SPS 361s, SPS 461s. It doesn't matter. Our system does not rely on anyone's specific positioning software. We have developed our own positioning software, which is shown here, that allows you to connect any GPS receiver, tide gauge, or draft sensor that you may use or already have. And finally, the spec does require that we have a database running in our provided server to be collecting all the data in the event that the core is missing or has any gaps. We use this manual recovery data drop-down box to allow you to select the dates that the core requests from beginning to end, and it creates the text file that can simply be emailed to them for their convenience to fill out the missing information. I would like to finally point out that we also provide DQM for scows and hoppers.